showroom buzzed with the arrogance of wealth. Men in crisp suits leaned against luxury vehicles as if they were born with gold in their hands. Expensive perfume and the faint hum of engines filled the air. Outside, the sun scorched the pavement, and people passing by could only glance at the shiny symbols of power through the glass. It was there, at the doorway of elegance, that a ragged man appeared. His boots were scuffed, his jacket frayed at the edges, and his hat tilted down as if shielding him from a world that didn't care to look twice. The staff inside noticed him instantly, but not with curiosity. With mockery. Salesmen smirked and exchanged silent nods, already imagining the punchline of a joke they thought was walking through their doors. He pushed the door open, the chime ringing softly. But the weight of his presence was louder than any sound. "Can I help you, sir?" one salesman asked with forced politeness, suppressing a laugh. "I'm here to buy 5 Mercedes trucks," the ragged man said in a voice calm and deep, like someone who had lived through storms and didn't fear a drizzle. The laughter was instant, not loud, but cruel. A few turned their backs to hide their amusement, while others looked him up and down, like he was out of place in a world too polished for dust. 5 trucks. The salesman repeated. "Do you have an appointment?" The man shook his head. "No appointment needed to buy what you can afford," he said simply. The salesman leaned closer, as if inspecting him, and chuckled. "Sir, these are not toys. Each truck costs more than your entire wardrobe." A few of the sales staff laughed openly now. But the men didn't flinch. He walked past the salesman, slow and deliberate, like someone who didn't need permission. His fingers brushed the gleaming hood of one of the trucks, powerful, spotless, and built for men who ruled industries. "This one," he said. "And 4 more like it." Another salesman joined in. This one with a more polished voice, trying to sound professional but failing to mask his amusement. "Sir, perhaps we can show you something smaller. Maybe a van." The ragged man turned, his eyes sharp. "Do I look like a man who drives small dreams?" The room fell silent for a moment, not out of respect, but confusion. Then the first salesman decided to play along with what he thought was a joke. "All right, sir," he said with a grin. 5 trucks. That'll be a little over $1 million. How would you like to pay?" "Cash," the man replied. That single word hit the room like a stone dropped in a still pond. The laughter faded a little, not fully, but enough to be replaced by uncertainty. "Cash," someone echoed. "Yes," the man said, removing his hat slowly, revealing a weathered but proud face. "Cash." He reached into his worn leather bag and pulled out a thick, neat stack of crisp bills. Not dirty, not torn, pristine. He set it down on the showroom desk with a calmness that made even the smug salesman blink. "Deposit," he added. "The rest is outside." For a second, nobody moved. The staff stared at the money like it couldn't be real. Like a miracle wearing dirty boots. One of them, finally curious, peered through the window. A convoy of black armored vehicles had pulled up outside. Men in suits, real ones, not like the showroom salesman, stepped out, opening case after case filled with cash. The ragged man smiled faintly. "I told you I'd take 5 trucks." Suddenly the showroom felt too small, too quiet. The salesmen who laughed were now scrambling, stuttering, their faces pale as if their arrogance had been ripped away. "Yes, sir, please forgive us," the first salesman stammered. We didn't realize, you didn't have to," the men interrupted. "You just had to treat people like humans. But you failed." His words weren't loud, but they carried the weight of truth. The manager rushed out from his glass office, his perfect hair now slightly disheveled. "Sir, please, come to my office. We'll handle everything personally." "A man of your position," the ragged man turned his head slowly. "You mean a man with money?" The manager swallowed hard. The man took off his jacket, revealing a simple but clean shirt underneath. No logos. No brands. Just a man. You saw my clothes and thought you saw my worth. That's your mistake. And it's going to cost you. The manager began apologizing profusely, offering him VIP treatment, exclusive offers, and premium service, but the man wasn't interested in sweet words now. He walked over to the trucks again, running his hand along the steel, like someone who understood value without needing labels. My father was a mechanic, he said quietly. He used to fix trucks like these with his bare hands. We never had money for new things. We built everything we had. Today, I buy 5 trucks. Not because I need to prove something to you, but because I can. Silence. Every laugh that echoed earlier now felt like a slap in the faces of those who'd mocked him. The deal was signed within the hour. The cash was verified, every bill real, every figure exact. As the staff loaded the trucks for delivery, the ragged man stood outside, the sun behind him, his old boots on the pavement that led to a future none of them could have imagined. A young trainee, who had stayed quiet during the whole ordeal, finally approached him timidly. Sir, if you don't mind me asking, how did you? The man looked at him and smiled. Hard work. People like them never see the ones who build the roads they drive on. The trainee nodded, a spark of respect in his eyes. Thank you, he whispered, for proving them wrong. The man placed his hat back on. I didn't prove them wrong, he said. I just reminded them of the truth. The trucks roared to life. 5 engines singing a song of power, not arrogance. As they rolled out of the showroom, the salesmen stood like statues, their perfect suits now soaked with shame. Word spread fast. That ragged man wasn't just anyone. He was the owner of one of the largest logistics companies in the country. He dressed plain because he valued work, not appearances. The showroom lost more than face that day. They lost trust. But the ragged man gained something better. A lesson left behind for everyone watching. Never underestimate the quiet ones. They build empires in silence. And when they arrive, they don't ask for respect, they take it. The 5 roaring trucks rolled out like a storm, and the ragged man stood tall in the sun's glare. Inside the showroom, silence burned hotter than fire. The manager's forced smile faded as whispers spread. This wasn't a beggar. This was power disguised in dust. The young trainee who'd shown quiet respect stepped forward, eyes shining. Sir, will they ever learn? He asked softly. The man adjusted his hat, his voice calm but sharp. People see clothes, not character. That's why they lose everything when real strength walks in. Behind them, the salesmen lowered their heads, their laughter now a memory they regretted. The trucks disappeared into the distance, carrying not just steel and wheels, but a lesson carved in pride. Respect isn't worn, it's earned. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that open eyes and touch hearts.